Okay guys, welcome to the Wave Shooter tutorial series. This is tutorial number 5 in the series, and in this tutorial we are going to be working on setting up a scoring system into the game. I'm also using NVIDIA's RTX voice for the mic, so it cancels out background audio and keys. So if it sounds a bit weird, that's because of it, and if it bugs you, you can let me know in the comments and I can disable it if it bugs enough of you guys. Okay, so for the UI, I'm going to be adding a node to the scene tree. It's going to be the control node. This control node, basically the control node in Godot, controls UI and will control scaling and all of the setup to different windows. I could just show you with Godot. I can resize the window and Godot's UI instantly reacts to it correctly in a way that works well. And that's the same on how this control node is going to work. It's going to do the same, even though we're not going to set up the window stuff like that. We're just going to have a control node just to keep the game consistent. So I'm going to go over to rect, and we're going to set the size of it to 320, no, not 320, 640 by 360, which is the size of our viewport. Under this control node, we're going to be adding a label, and this label is going to be our text. This is basically going to be the scoring that you're going to see on top of the game. So we're going to have to use a custom font because Godot's font is just not going to work for us, and I think it's a lot fancier to have our own font. So I have this font. It's going to now be in the Google Drive, link in the description so you can go download it, or you can use any font you want. But we're going to grab this, and I'm going to drag it into Godot. Now it should be in Godot's file system. You see font.ttf. So now under here in custom fonts, we can add a new custom font. And so I'm going to be using a dynamic font, which allows us to change the values of the font dynamically, other than having a one size for it. So size we're going to set 128, and I think that's the size I found that works for me. And for the font data, we're going to be dragging in our TTF file right here. And now you're going to see that this custom font should be set up in a way that would work. We're also going to turn on use filter, and I'm going to set the text. Let's set to 100. Let's see. You can see it's very big. So to fix this, I'm going to go up into our rectangle properties, and we're going to be setting a couple of properties. Our position, I found that negative 4.435 works for me. I'm going to go over to scale right here, and I'm going to set to 0.5. Don't set the pivot. We're just going to do scale 0.0, 0.5, 0.5. That gives us our desired scale that we want. Now we need to make it so it's actually centered in the game. So to do this in size right here, we're going to do 1 to 80, and we're going to do 145. But you can still see that it's not centering. So to fix this, you can go all the way up here to align. We're going to go center, and then V-align. We're also going to hit center. And there you go. You can see that we have our control node right here. And I can run the game and save it. And you see we have scoring. You can see there's a couple of problems. You see how my bullets are going over, and sometimes the enemies will go over it. And we don't want that. We want everything to go under this. So to fix that, you can use a canvas layer, but when we add screen shake later on, it's not going to shake the text when the screen shakes, and I find that it looks nicer when you have the text shake. So you could use a canvas layer and then parent it over everything, or you can go the route I'm going to go and just use the node 2D, and then I'm going to apply this as the root node of all of these nodes. And I'm going to name this node 2D to scoring. Actually, we'll just leave this as UI, and then we can name our label as score. Now with this node 2D, it inherits a property called z-index, which we were using for the blood. So we could set our z-index to like something high, like 20. And now you'll see when we run the game, everything shows under it. Nothing will show over this text, which is really nice because now you're not going to have obstructions going over it. So now we have our basic text in place, but now we need it to show our scoring, because right now it's only going to show this arbitrary 100 value that we set in the text. So to fix that, we're going to go into our enemy code, enemy.gd. I'm going to full screen this. And actually, before we go in enemy.gd, we're going to be going in our global script. I'm going to make a new variable. We're going to call it score. I'm just going to set to 0. Now, going back to the enemy.gd, when health is less than or equal to 0, meaning that the enemy is going to die, then we want to do global.points plus equals 10. And you can save that. Oh, I called it score in global. We're actually going to call it points. Never mind, don't call it score. And now you can see that it's adding to this global points value, but it's not, the score is still not going to show that value. It's going to still say 100. So to fix this, we're going to be making a script for our score. So highlight the score, hit the script button, and we're going to be pressing create. Then under function underscore process, we're going to be using text equals global.score. Points. Okay, so now it's setting the text to our global points, and we can save this and run our 2D scene and see that right now. Oh, but then we see we're having an error right here. Property text with value type int. So that means we are trying to set our text value to an integer, which is our global.points. That doesn't work because the text is looking for a string value, meaning text. It's looking for stuff like that. But right now, we're wanting to set it to this. So to fix this, there's a function in Godot called string, and you can do these parentheses around it. There's this method which does the same thing as str. I like to write string out because it's more readable. But doing string at global.points is the same thing as saying text equals 10, like that. But without string, it's just an integer like this. So now I'm going to save it, and I'm going to run the game again. Now you can see it's saying our score is 0. I'm going to kill some enemies, and then it goes up. 10, 20, 30, 40, and it's just going to keep going up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It was a bit of a shorter tutorial, but we will be setting up a difficulty curve on the enemy spawner and some integrating a screen shake system into the game. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.